Okay, we're back again. Now that I've demonstrated how to pull apart a lifter, clean it up, inspect it, and everything, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install them. As you can see, I've got just about all of them in. I decided to keep two out just to show you. Now, as soon as I pull a lifter out, what I do, just to remember where it goes, is I put my finger on the top where it goes in and my thumb on the bottom on these flats, just like that. Now I'm going to show you a little trick that I use whenever I'm dealing with roller lifters. Now whenever you spread the assembly lube on here, what I do to make it easy is just put a little, and then just roll that wheel. See how it kind of sucks it in? And then you keep rolling it, see how it just kind of evenly coats the whole wheel. So that's an easy tip that I wanted to show you. It'll save you a little bit of time. And you don't want to go overboard with this assembly lube because this is such a tight fit in this bore that a lot of it's going to get just scraped off from these sides. So you don't have to go overboard with this. So just go ahead and give it a light coating. And since I have it like this, I'm just going to stick it right in. Now, it'll be a little tight in the bore, so just kind of wiggle it a little bit and just get it right in there. Don't hammer on it or beat it or anything. It'll go in. Just takes a little bit of persuading. Okay, now our last one. Now I'll show you what sets these roller lifters apart from regular lifters besides the roller on the bottom. In a second here, there's actually two components that are extra. Okay. Okay, now that all of our lifters are installed, you want to make sure that the flat is pointing straight up and the other flat on the bottom is straight down on all of them. Now here's the keepers, and I'll show you how you know how these keepers go on. I took them off and I have them how they came out. These aren't as critical to get back to where they came out of as a lifter is, but if you can keep these organized how they came out, I recommend it. It's a good idea. Okay, I'm going to take one of these. Here's the keeper. And as you can see, it's labeled top. And there's the underside. And see how it's grooved? That's so that it can fit in between the lifters. So what I do is I just take a little bead of break-in and just kind of smear it in there. You don't have to go crazy with it. Just run a little bead in there. Okay, and the way these go in, have it top, like how it's labeled, and you just fit it right in between the two. Just like that. That keeps them, what this thing's job is to keep that roller in line with your cam so these don't, roll around like a conventional flat tappet lifter would. So that's pretty much what the job of this part is. So we're going to go ahead, put a little bit. You don't have to go real crazy with that assembly lube because, as I mentioned before, a lot of it's going to get smeared around the outside, so there's some there too. And after these, there's one last component. I wanted to make sure to get all this on camera because I didn't get the teardown of all this on camera, so I wanted to get the install. I also didn't get the intake manifold removal on camera. I'll be sure to get that on after I get my heads on. But we're actually going to be doing a little extra to our heads. We're not just going to be putting new seals on them and slapping them on. I'm going to show you what else you can do to them. And one last keeper. Okay, now time for our last component. Now, I'm not really sure what you would call this. I just call it a baffle. But what its job is, see how it has these arms? It lays in here just like this, and these arms keep pressure on this keeper so that it doesn't go up and slip around and things. So all you do for that is just set it right in, make sure it's contacting on the little stub outs on the keepers. Thread it in. And as you can see how it has spring to it? That's good. But that's all this thing's job is to put pressure on these keepers. I actually had a little trouble finding the torque spec for this. I couldn't find it in my book. I actually found it on a website called ClassicOldsmobile.com. I believe it's a forum, but there's a thread where they explained the torque spec for these. These bolts here, the torque spec is 8 foot-pounds. So just go ahead and maybe tighten it to 4 and then 8 for a final torque. But I'm going to go ahead and torque that. I'm not going to do it on camera because by now I'm sure you know how to use a torque wrench. But just wanted to show you how you install lifters and what all's involved. Next video I'm going to go ahead and show you what I have planned for these cylinder heads. Alright, thank you for watching.